One Iowa is Iowa's premier LGBT organization. We started as an organization that really looked at marriage and marriage equality. But since we've had marriage equality since the Varnum v. Breen decision in 2009, we've really expanded our work. So today we're working on equality from cradle to grave, whether we're working with people in assisted living facilities or even hospice, all the way down to when an LGBT or T person gives birth to a child, or when a young person comes out in junior high school. So we truly are cradle to grave equality. I got involved with a draft resistors bureau where, I didn't have any skills, so I would stuff envelopes and, stuff envelopes. That's basically what I did. And after a while, I went to the fellow who ran the place and said, I've been stuffing envelopes for months now. I can do better things. And I'll never forget, he kind of took my face in his hands and kind of drew me to him and said, if you learn nothing, learn this. There's no small work in a big movement. So if I'm stuffing envelopes at One Iowa, I remember that. There's no small work in a big movement. The movement for gay and lesbian equality has just progressed light years from when I started. I can remember 30 years ago, there was really no religious group that would talk to us, unless they were talking at us. Even our friends who were seen as progressive were not quite there yet. I remember when there were no politicians who would have anything to do with us. I remember when it was illegal to be gay or lesbian, bisexual or transgender. And so the movement, it really began when LGBT people got tired of being targeted, got tired of being pushed aside, and some small liberation groups kind of began to percolate. But then the AIDS, HIV epidemic hit, and I think that was so life or death. We watched a genocidal response to AIDS. I remember when people in government said, well, it's only gays and Haitians and IV drug users, so who cares? I remember that being said. And I remember my anger. There were 2 years during that time when I actually had to go out and buy funeral clothes because I was going to a funeral every single week. I had a Rolodex, and every time someone died, I'd take their card out and put it in my drawer. And I remembered the day I realized there were more in the drawer than on the Rolodex. So I think that's when this community got really serious. And I also think that's when lesbians really began to have a place, because we were the ones taking care of our brothers. We were the ones then, when our brothers died, we were there running the organizations. I think people forget that this community was decimated by HIV, just decimated. But then we started to get attention from politicians, policymakers, people who could do something. And we began to kind of flex our political muscles. We also began to fundraise. We understood that we could raise the money to fight this disease, and we could raise the money to fight for our equality. I think you do what makes your heart sing. I could have done any number of things. My training is as an artist. At one point, I taught art, painting, drawing, life studies at a small college, and I really enjoyed that. But if I didn't go to work that morning, it really wouldn't make a difference. Somebody else would teach the course, right? Working with and for my community, I think has given me so much. So I guess if people want that kind of passion in their life, they need to figure out, what do you love to do? Who or what do you really care about? And you make it happen. There's only one person who can make it not happen, and that's you, right? So I think it's a good idea for people to figure that out and create the roadmap. you know, if you want to be a neurosurgeon, you kind of have to go to medical school, right? But there's always a roadmap to what you want to do. When I see people, especially my age, who have spent a lifetime of work either doing something that they don't care much about or that they hate, I think, what a waste. What an extraordinary waste. We've come a long way, but we're not there yet. We're just not there yet. When we're there, when a child comes out as gay or lesbian or bi or trans or queer or questioning, the day we've won is when that child is not afraid of that, but is proud to say to his or her or their parent, this is who I am. And the parent is happy to hear it. That's when it's over.